guys, it's Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make a cargo style net for your rat's cage, which is really fun for them to climb on, acts as a great ball breaker, and really just provides them with extra enrichment. And the nice thing about this DIY is that it's super simple. All you need is some rope, some fabric strips, and these need to be a stretchy sort of fabric. You can use like old clothing or fleece blankets or so forth, just cut up into strips. Then you'll also need some scissors, and optionally you'll also need some tape. Anyways, to start building your net, the first thing you want to do is to cut out some strips of your rope. And you want these to all be even, and really the minimum amount of rope pieces you should have is 8, because you will be making a grid style pattern, which means your ropes will be going across horizontally and vertically. So you want at least 4 pieces to go vertically and at least 4 to go horizontally to make a nice net. However, you can absolutely go larger as well, and I will show you some of my larger nets at the end of this video if you'd like some inspiration. Anyways, with that being said, I'm not going to show you how I cut out the rope in this video simply because I ran out of rope. So instead of using a nice rope, I ended up taking some sisal string, which I did have on hand, and I just braided it together to make these nice thicker strands. And you don't need to do this if the rope is thick enough. I only did this because I was working with a very thin string, and you really don't want to use a thin string for your net because not only is it going to be more unstable and so your rats are less likely to use it, but there is a possibility of a rat's getting tangled in it if it's too thin. You just want to avoid that by either using a thicker rope, or if you use a thinner rope / string, then you want to braid it together to make it thicker. Anyways, you want to go ahead and cut out at least 8 pieces of rope, and you can see in my case I have 8 pieces of the braided sisal string. And then once you've done this, the next thing you want to do is lay out 4 of your strips of rope, or again, however many you're using, and lay these out horizontally at an even distance apart. Personally, I like to aim for about 3 inches apart because I find that this is kind of the ideal distance for most rats. Now once you've laid out your first pieces of rope, the next thing you want to do is to take your remaining pieces of rope and lay them vertically across your strands. And again, you want to try to do this as evenly as possible, just in order to make your net holes as even as possible. Now at this point, you want to go ahead and take your fabric that you're going to be using to tie the rope together and cut out some strips of fabric that are long enough to tie together at least twice around your rope. Once you've cut out some fabric strips, you can now start to tie them around your pieces of rope. So at every single point where the ropes cross, you want to go ahead and tie on a piece of fabric. Now I recommend starting by tying all these pieces of fabric in the same direction, and the reason for that is because once you finish tying all your pieces of fabric in one direction, then you're going to need to go back and do the exact same thing in the other direction in order to make sure that your ropes are really sturdy and not going to slide around on each other. Once you finish tying the fabric pieces around all of the rope connections in one direction, then go ahead and take your scissors and snip off the ends of each of these fabric pieces. Now once you've cut off all the excess tail pieces for each piece of fabric, now go ahead and cut out some more fabric pieces and tie them on the same connector rope spots again, but in the opposite direction. And again, once you finish tying all the fabric on, you want to go ahead and cut off those excess end pieces on each piece of fabric. Once you finish cutting off all the excess pieces of fabric, now you can just flip over your net and you will have a nice tidy net with perfect little connections made out of fabric that are very sturdy and that your rats will enjoy climbing on. And in order to hang the net, you can take some little clips like C-clips and just clip them on to each of the corner pieces, and that will make it very easy to hang the net in the cage. And if you're wondering where these C-clips can be bought, personally I get mine off Amazon. You can get like 1,000 pieces of them for like 10 bucks, so they're really nice for hanging things in your rat's cage. Anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how you can make these nets. I'm now going to show you a few of my larger nets and also show you some of the nets in the cage and probably also show you some clips of the rats climbing on them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you tried this DIY with your own rats, go ahead and let me know how it goes. Nets are just a really nice way to fill up space in your rat's cage, and they're also a really good way to prevent falls in the cage, which is especially important with some of the taller cages out there. But yeah, that's it for this video. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!